everyone, today we are going to work with gourds. How fun is that? I have this page that I've been working on that is handmade paper. It's the page that I did the sunflowers on. And so far I haven't added anything more to it. So on the front side of this page, I thought I would add the gourds. I have a panel that's already made, and you can watch my other videos if you want to see how I've been making these panels with the gesso and the stenciling. And it's a little bit too wide, so I'm going to tear it down on this side. And I can save this piece for some collage fodder. It's got some texture to it. And let's see if that's better. That is better. Let me get off this edge here. And then I will go across here with the gold rub-on. And because I still have a little on my finger, I'm going to take that piece that I just tore off and put the rest on the edge where I tore that. So then that's all ready to go. There we go. So we don't waste any of this. Let's put this here like this. And we're going to make a little pocket. And I have some coffee stained copy paper. I tore it with my straight edge, and I like sometimes just to rip it like this because you get more of a random effect to it. And then we will ink up around the whole outside of it. I know I want to add some of that in here. I know it's not enough yet. These gourds that I want to incorporate into this project, I don't feel this is enough texture on my card yet. Let's look into adding more. We could go with some orange. I already have this piece torn. Could add some of that on here and this on top. So I really like that ruffle. So can we incorporate the ruffle and then with all of these gourds, or is that going to be too much? That makes a pretty pocket. I think we'll go with that. So let's put this together. I'm going to take my page and set it aside for the moment. And I will put this on with some tacky glue. I try not to overthink things too. I can get hung up on, oh, but maybe that's not quite right, or maybe I need something a little more dramatic, or not enough on it, too much on it. Anyhow, if it's pleasing to my eye the first time I look at it, I need to just go with it, because I can be here for hours just trying to lay things out and figure out, okay, do I really want to do that or not? Or, you know how it is. So we are going to put this piece of ruffle right across the bottom. And as far as this piece of ribbon, I'm just going to lay it here, and I will put paint or glue on my gourds, and that will hold everything in place. And I want this to be about that long. Save the other piece for our journal panel that we're going to make. And let's get a little bit of glue on the end where I snipped it so that our threads don't unravel. And I'm going to use the fabric fusion to put this piece of ruffle across there. Let's put it on the ruffle itself too. Lay our ribbon down, put our ruffle down. So far, all of our journal cards have been going vertically instead of horizontally, and this is kind of nice to do something a little different. I know for sure that this tall gourd needs to be over here on the left, so it's okay to put that down. Give it a little bit of a tip. Hold it in place for a moment or two. And I know I've said before, it's best after you get this done to put a heavy book on top of it. And so next I'll place the next bigger one, which will be this gourd here. And I'm going to tip that and put that over there, over on the right hand side, a little bit closer, not all the way over. I don't want to have anything way over on the right. It's a lot of gluing today. With having some of the panels made and the ruffle already made and the gourds and everything already made and cut out, you can just get together and with all your items and just glue them down and have a page like in no time. Okay, so I think I want to put that one over there and this one over here to break up. I was having the same colors together here, and I want to switch them up a little bit. Straighten it back up. And then we have this little guy here. It could go in the back, but I think I'll put this one in the back a little and bring this one out front. Again, I don't want him over the same colors like that. So there's my reasoning behind it. I'm trying to keep these two very similar colors away from each other and these two somewhat away from each other. I don't like the idea that I have the two gourds that are the same shape together, but that's just the way this is working out. So that is the way I want this to be. And then you work from the back to the front, and that way you won't have something Like if you did the front and then try slipping something behind, you're not going to do it, right? And if you like to decorate with gourds, I like to put like a basket of gourds on the table or by a door or whatever for fall season. There we go. Fast and easy. So we have our pocket made, and it's going to go on the front of our page just like this. And I think I will sew that on. So I'm just going to put a little glue on it to hold it in place, and then I'll sew down this side across the bottom and back up. So I will go glue that or sew that down, and I'll be back. So there we have it. It's all sewn down. What I did though was I started here at the top right hand corner, and I came down to my ruffle, and then I decided that I didn't want to stitch this ruffle closed here. So I came down to where the ruffle was being stitched, and I stopped. I lifted and cut my threads and started sewing again after I rolled up the bottom of my ruffle, and then I started sewing again so I could go across the bottom of my pocket without sewing down that ruffle. And then of course I stopped and picked it up again here and finished up. Then on the inside we have, you can see just what I did actually, but we have some stitching, which does not bother me at all. I think it's kind of a cool effect to have on your journal. We also have this page that flips over. Not sure whether I'm doing anything here yet or not. Time will tell, I guess. So we have our pocket. We have our gourds in place. Now we need something for the inside of our pocket. I'm thinking maybe of putting a piece of coffee stained paper like I did with the sunflowers, because otherwise we really don't have anything to journal on this whole section, because this paper would be too hard to write on. I'm not saying it would be impossible. The inside might be easier, but the outside probably would be pretty difficult. So I think I need to add some coffee stained copy paper or some Eco Print paper. Let me see what I have available here. I have this nice piece that has a fern on it here, and I think that's what I'll use. So I'll ink up around the edge of this with my black ink. Let me just set my page aside again, and I'll go around the whole thing, both sides. And to make this fit into my journal, I need to fold it vertically like so. That's real pretty with this fern on it here. And then I'll take it and just stick it inside my pocket like this. I generally only add like maybe one thing or so to my pocket. My reasoning behind that is once you get the journal, you may want to add things. And if I have everything full, then that doesn't leave you any room. So I add a piece and then just leave it. So there, that is done. Now we need to make our panel for our Etsy shop. And like I say, I have been doing all of them in this view. I think we're going to do a journal card horizontally instead. We have a little bit of this ruffle. We have our gourds. Let's get a piece of the orange ribbon. And another thing what's cool about this is it just tears. I mean, how much easier is that than having to get scissors out? All right, and we'll put that across here. You can distort it too. It stretches. And we could do exactly the same thing as what we did here. That would be kind of cute, wouldn't it? The rest of them all been geared down to size, because a lot of the times, like with the sunflowers, this big sunflower here would make a really tall, it would be like a little overpowering for an A4 page. So I added a smaller sunflower when I made my panel for that. Here, this would not be so bad for an A4 page. So if you have one, oh, and I'm not thinking that if we go this way, this is the way why I've been doing them all this way. If we go this way, we do need to size down. So do I really want to size down, or do I want to just arrange my gourds differently and have a stand-up pocket here? I'm going to size it down, guys. Let's keep it with that one. And so for an A4 size, I would need to, let's trim off this much. See what I mean? I don't measure. There. And now we have a pocket like that, and save this for another project. And we have to get out our gold rub-on again and just go over the edge where we tore it. There. So now for an A4, now this paper is not going in my journal. I'm just using it to show you. We have an A4 size, and let's get our ribbon, and we're going to have to tear that down a little bit. like that. Save that for another project. And we have our gourds. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Only difference is we don't have a piece of ruffle that's big enough to go all the way across the bottom, but we do have a big enough piece to use it as a page tab. So we'll put it, but we do need something. I like this effect with something across the bottom. So let me come up with something different to go across the bottom. I'm going to use this. This is some napkin that I glued onto a page, and then I decided I didn't really like it. And I like the napkin, I like the page. I didn't like the way it was all going together, so I did something different with it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to add this on here. Yes, it needed something across the bottom. So we can glue that on. And again, with our Fabric Fusion, because of the ribbon that we're working with here, that's why I'm using my Fabric Fusion. Now we may not get all of the gourds on this because it is so much smaller. Let's see what we can do. We'll have that one. Could put one over top of it instead of behind it. That's what we'll do. They will fit. So we'll have the back ones first that we'll put on. And there we have our journal panel. On the back side, I want to add some paper. I have some of this paper. I think that I'm going to use this because it has that orange. This is part that I ripped this off of this. So we're going to put this on here. Yes, we do. And edge around all of the 4 sides and glue that down. Now I'll take this over to the sewing machine and I'll stitch all the way around the outside edge. How cute is that? This cute little pocket that we have. I have a gourds flashcard, and if you've watched the other videos, you'll see that I like to add some watercolor to it. So I'm going to take this and watercolor it, and I will be back. We have our flashcard, all watercolored, front and back. Let's go around the outside edge with our black ink. And down at the bottom, we have been adding a little bit of scraps. So this scrap that I had cut off, that I already put the gold around the edges, comes in perfect for that. How about a little bit of sheet music, which is what I've been using. We have this piece here. Let's tear that and ink up around the edge, and we'll glue those down. Tacky glue will work just fine for this. That adds a little bit more interest to our flashcard. On the back side, we're going to take our line stamp and stamp right on there for journaling room. It pulls all of our colors together too. It looks real nice. And then we have been adding our little ruffle for a page tab here on our tags. So I'm going to put it on top. I've been putting it on the side because our tags have been going in on the side. This one's going to go down in from the top on this one. So, and I will just staple that on. I found that's the easiest way to add these ruffles so that you know that they're going to stay when they're being tugged at. There we have a cute little tag. Okay, so I'm feeling that since this is cut down in size and the tag isn't as big as what we've been making, that I want to add a little bit something else to this project. So I think I'm going to take some paper, some copy paper, and slip it inside for some journaling space. And let me see what I might have. I don't think birdhouses really goes with this. How about we add some of our Echo Print paper? So I think a full piece is too big for that. But if we take it and cut it in half. Oh goodness, yes, look at that. How wonderful is that? There's a page for your journal right there. Look at that. How pretty would that be with this inside here? Yes, yes, yes. So let's tear this down. Got sidetracked there for a minute. And now we have this piece that can be journaled on. Go around the whole outside edge with black ink. Oh, this one is so pretty. Look at those little pieces, the fern and the print. This is gorgeous. So I think in thirds, it has to be folded in thirds. All right, so for an A4 size, we have our pocket, we have our piece of stationery, and we have a flashcard tag. And that needs a little more glue on it. So this will be on my Etsy page as this, and this. Okay, that completes our project for today. I hope you have enjoyed the journal page that we made and the journal panel that we have made with the paper and the tags. Hope to see you again soon. You have a great day. Bye now.